This is 104 John Street in Bennington, Vermont. You may have never even heard of this street before, but I'm standing on John Street right now. This house is at the intersection of John and Warren Streets, which are both dead ends. So it's a little pocket neighborhood off the top of County Street and Bradford. That is Bradford Street down there. So it's a very short walk to the YMCA. At the end of John Street is the former Corby Whitney Elementary School, which is now senior housing, and you can't get there from here anymore. Now the only access is off the top of Gage Street. Also next door here is a group home, which I believe is for developmentally disabled, operated by United Counseling Services. So this house is a 1920s craftsman. My favorite feature of this house is the front porch. So there's a Vermont slate walkway. Obviously the steps have lost some of their slate steps here on top, but a little bit of love and you can bring this front porch back. Classic details like the columns, big covered porch here just to soak up the mountain view of Mount Anthony. It's a very quiet neighborhood. It is a great, great porch. I could picture a swing hanging up here, some Adirondack chairs perhaps, or rocking chairs would be great. All right, so along the northern edge of the property, the seller has planted a row of Rose of Sharon. So those are probably going to come in bloom around June or so. There's a side entrance here which goes down to the basement or up into the kitchen. Oil fill pipes right there. There's a paved driveway. Currently the way the driveway is, it only does fit one car. If you wanted to widen the driveway to get more off-street parking, you definitely could do that. You'd have to lose a little bit of yard and some of these beautiful bushes and trees that are growing here, but you could expand the driveway. Brand new garage. The original garage that was here unfortunately was crushed by a tree last summer, so it got completely rebuilt. The cost of rebuilding a garage, I have to say, is sadly $50,000. So this giant tree, it was actually two trees that had merged into one, had come crashing down, and it did hit part of the house just a tiny bit. So a little bit of repair had to happen to some fascia, a little bit of siding got covered up over there. But the whole garage went kaboom. So brand new garage here. It is fully finished. So it is insulated. There's plywood on the walls, sorry, particle board. And then there's a sheetrocked ceiling, which has been coated with a tape and mud there. There is power out here. So there's an electronic overhead door. You can see the circuit breaker sub panel right there. We're gonna hit the button and you'll see that that is just gonna close nice and smooth. Little safety eyes down there so no little ones can get hurt. Okay, and then I also want to point out that there is heat. So there is a spot outside for you to put a small propane tank. It's not currently there, but you'd plug this into the outlet and then that's where your propane line's coming in. So you can have a heated, powered, insulated garage. Plus, even once a car is parked in here, you've got room for all of this storage back there, okay? Back to the outside. In addition to the gardens on the north side, there's all kinds of gardens out here wrapping 360 around this house. So I am not a gardener, sadly. I wish I was, but This was just not my skill set. So I appreciate when someone is really organized and they put all these little wooden sticks in here to identify what's what. We've got some allium, some tulips, catmint. There's also a garden over here by the garage. And then we have more back here, geraniums, fire twisters, and obviously a nice big bed of mulch, some shrubs. The siding is asbestos. This is rather common for homes of this era. You don't have to remove it. You absolutely can leave it alone. If you want to replace it, it's usually recommended to leave it in place and simply go over it. So like you could add vinyl siding over the top of that if you ever chose to, or you can paint this if you want to make it a different color. There's a stone foundation. 1920, the year that this was built, is the year that they just started pouring concrete foundations. So this one just missed the cutoff on that. So you get to have a classy old foundation. And then I also want to point out that there is a radon mitigation system here. The seller had done a radon test. It was a little elevated, so that got taken care of with radon mitigation. Out back, there is a small deck here. It's actually a nice like Trex deck for a shed to go on top of. The shed was previously built, but sadly the intense storm that we had a couple weeks ago took the shed down, toppled it right over, boom, right here. So that just got taken apart. It is a Rubbermaid shed, so you absolutely can rebuild it. All the parts are going to be staying here with the house, so you'll be able to have some additional storage. And then there is that propane line for that heater in the garage. So the garage has a corrugated metal roof. There's also a corrugated metal roof right up there on the top of that dormer. And then the rest of the roof is architectural shingles. So in addition to the big covered front porch, you also get a big back porch. So I'm going to show you just how amazing the outdoor space is at this house. It really adds so much additional space for you to enjoy your property, the peace and quiet. It's really such a special part of this house, all these porches. All right, so stay tuned. We're gonna head inside.